Welcome everybody to look at the second to last film in the Terror in the Fog, the Wallace Krimi at CCC box set from Eureka, and it is 1964's The Monster of London City. So this is directed by Edward Zobanek, who also did The Mad Executioners, which has definitely been one of the better efforts in this release so far. And this is a crime film, clocking in at 90 minutes long. Stars Hans-Jorg Felmy, who was also in The Mad Executioners, as well as Mariana Koch, who was in A Fistful of Dollars, Hans Nielsen, who was in The Strangler of Blackmore Castle, The Phantom of Soho, and Dr. Mabuse vs. Scotland Yard, although he was in a significantly more supporting role in those films than in this one. And yeah, the spirit of Jack the Ripper seems to be very much alive in 1960s London, as a series of brutal slayings by the monster of London City has Scotland Yard baffled. In a macabre coincidence, a new play about the famous murderer is about to become a major West End hit, and the leading man is rapidly becoming the prime suspect. So this is, in essence, a film that feels like a lesser version of The Phantom of Soho, in that the setting is extremely similar. In fact, the opening scene looks like the exact same set that was used in The Phantom of Soho. And there are plenty of kills, but this ultimately lacks the effective cinematography and style of that effort, given it is mostly done in a conventional manner, with only the odd shadowy figure keeping things interesting. That said, the plot is a whole lot less reliant on red herrings, making this generally more enjoyable in that regard, because I do really rather like to try and work out who it's going to be. The cast is good, the pacing is on point, it is predominantly engrossing, and there is some thematic weight to the film's plot about violence and entertainment, and whether or not entertainment influences violence or violence influences entertainment. So yeah, I did like that part of it, but ultimately it's nowhere near as good as The Phantom of Soho. So it does get 3.5 out of 5, which is only slightly less than The Phantom of Soho, but it's also slightly less than The Mad Executioner. So it's only those two films that so far have had 4 out of 5. So ultimately this gets a 3.5 out of 5. So yeah, but still, overall it looks pretty good in its new 2K restoration of the original film elements. And we also have the optional English subtitles that are newly revised for this release, as well as an optional English dub for this film. And then we've got a new introduction to the film by genre film expert and video watchdog founder Tim Lucas, as well as a new audio commentary on The Monster of London City by Kim Newman and Stephen Jones. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. There are other extras here that, like I said in previous videos, that we'll go through when we talk about the final film and talk about the box set in general. But yeah, on the whole, a fairly solid film. Do like the artwork as well. It does remind me of those like 1930s/1940s kind of horror films. So yeah, it does have that going for it as well. But on the whole, like I said, not as good as the director's previous effort in this release, The Mad Executioners. And like I said, it also does pale a little bit in comparison to The Phantom of Soho due to how similar it is, but executed in a different and not as interesting manner. But yeah, it does also have some kind of like, when it comes to the kills, especially, it does have some kind of realism, I guess you could say, to it in the way that it is shot, because it isn't stylish, it isn't a POV shot or anything like that. It does feel a little bit more realistic in that regard, bit of a docudrama kind of element. But yeah, it's not as fun and it's nowhere near as satisfying either. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.